So there's 11 champions in the UFC, and in today's video, I'm going to be going through ranking every UFC champion from worst to best. Now, the people I rank low on the list, I'm in no way, shape, or form saying that they're bad. They're a champion. They're world class. They're the 1% of all MMA, right? Being a UFC champion. But obviously, there's a hierarchy to it, right? I'm going to be factoring in dominance, well-roundedness, cardio, like people really getting to showcase a deep bag of skills is most likely going to rank them higher on this list. Now, Islam is not on the list because Islam is not currently a champion. I know he never lost the belt, but if he wins the belt against JDM, obviously that's going to shake this list up a little bit because you have to probably put him at number one if he does that, not once, if he does that. So yeah, let's get into it. So starting out at number 11, Kayla Harrison. So I have Kayla Harrison as the worst UFC champ right now. Look, obviously she's dominant, right? Nobody is out grappling her in that division. Nobody can stop her. Her strength is far superior to anybody else she ever fights, right? Now, I mean that's the pros. Now the cons is she tends to slow down after the first round, right? We saw the Ketlin Vieira fight where Ketlin was able to fight off a lot of the takedowns, leaving Kayla stuck on the feet, right? And when she's stuck on the feet, dude, her striking is not very good, right? She starts to get caught a lot, get into these kind of wars. I know she clearly won that fight 2 out of 3, but Ketlin Vieira did take a round off of her, which, that's why I have her so low on the list, because there's not a lot of well-roundedness, right? If she can't have her way in the grappling, then it's going to be a long night for her, right? So I got Kayla Harrison at number 11. Obviously, you already saw number 10, Valentina Shevchenko. Dude, 3 years ago, she probably would have been higher on this list. But, look, she's getting old. She's kind of adopted a much more conservative style, grappling heavy style. Her fights are just kind of boring now, right? Her fights are just boring. She keeps it way too close and competitive. She had 2 close fights with Alexa Grasso, got submitted in one. Dude, the second fight was razor close. A lot of people thought Valentina clearly won. I don't think so. That second fight was extremely close. She got dropped in it. Alexa was taking her down multiple times in that fight. Like, you go back like 3-4 years, Valentina was an absolute killer. She was finishing fights left and right. She had that killer instinct. She just doesn't really seem to have that anymore in her old age. Which is why she got dropped down to this list, because her fights tend to be competitive, right? I believe like Manon Fior took 2 rounds off of her. Her fights are close, kind of pitter-pat decisions. She's decent on the feet, but like there's nothing that really like stands out anymore. Like, yeah, she's very technical, highly intelligent. We saw that on The Ultimate Fighter, but she's starting to become more one-dimensional, right? With a grappling heavy approach. Whereas back in the day, she'd be knocking people out with head kicks, submitting people, just having her way, right? So, Valentina Shevchenko, number 10. Now, number 9, I got Zhang Weili. Obviously, the pros of Zhang Weili, her grappling, her overall brute strength over her opponents. I mean, there's really nobody outside of maybe like Verna Jandiroba, which we're probably never going to see that fight, who can match her in strength. She just ragdolls these women, dude. We saw what happened with Tatiana Suarez, who's a very high-level wrestler. She stuffed virtually all the takedowns and easily just shucked those off because of the strength, right? Submission defense, world class. Amanda Lemos had her in a deep, I think it was I don't think it was a Darce. It was more of a ninja choke. She had her, Zhang Weili, in that for about probably a minute and a half. Like, it was looking like she was going to choke Zhang Weili out. Zhang Weili got out and continued beating the shit out of her, which is another pro of hers, is that she just has an absolute killer mentality. Like, she gets put in a deep submission, she loses a round, and it pisses her off. You can tell it pisses her off to lose a round, get put in a submission, and once she gets out, she's going to rain down hell upon her opponent, right? Now, the cons, that I've noticed, at least in her last few fights, is like the furious pace early. Like she really tries to finish fights quickly, which to her credit, it's very entertaining. She's one of the most entertaining women to watch in the UFC. Um, but because of that, it makes her slow in the fourth and fifth rounds, right? Like we've seen some decently close fights with like Yan Jianan. Amanda Lemos started picking her apart on the feet late because she was slowing down, just because she's so explosive. She puts on such a furious pace that now, and she has quite a bit of muscle mass for that weight class. Naturally, she slows in the later rounds, which allows her opponent to make it competitive. And really, that's like the only con I found with Zhang Weili. Other than that, dude, she is a nightmare for everybody to fight. Yeah, she gets tired, but still, outside of Rose Namajunas knocking her out and then barely beating her by decision. Since then, dude, nobody's been able to figure her out. They can't capitalize on her fatigue late, so Zhang Weili, number 9. Number 8, Tom Aspinall. Um, Look, dude, Tom's a freak of nature, like God-given power, really good speed, really good footwork. He's hard to hit. Like a lot of these blobs and a lot of these other heavyweights cannot. They just can't deal with the footwork, the speed, and the power, right? Because he's gonna land quicker than you. He's gonna find the chin quicker than you, and that's gonna be all she wrote for you, right? He also does have a solid ground game. We saw that kind of in his earlier days in the UFC, as well as the Volkov fight, right? He got him down, submitted him with a Kimura. He is a very well-rounded fighter. That being said, why I put him lower on the list is because there's still so much we do not know about Tom Aspinall, right? We don't know how he would do against somebody who has a heavy grappling base, like a Jailton Almeida, even a John Jones when he was still in the UFC. Like, how's he going to deal with somebody shooting takedowns on him constantly, right? How's that going to wear on the gas tank? Does he even have a gas tank to go late? Can he go the distance 25 minutes? We just don't know, man. We just don't know those questions because he knocks everybody out in a minute or two, right? So that's why I got Tom Aspinall at number 8. Number 7, I got Magomed Ankalaev. Obviously, like he's faster than most guys in that division. He's probably the best grappler in the light heavyweight division. I don't see anybody out grappling this guy. And yeah, he's just overall well-rounded. That being said, like, dude, he's not really a threat to finish fights outside of like Johnny Walker, right? Again, I'm not impressed by a finish over Johnny Walker. Um, and his grappling, dude, it's just for a guy who's a sambo guy, that was his base coming into the UFC. It's just not very effective. He hardly uses it. I mean, dude, Alex Pereira stuffed all of his takedowns in their fight, and he kind of just held him against the cage and outstruck him on the feet. And that's it. I mean, he's not really the threat to finish the fight. The grappling's not that effective. He is good. He's one of the best guys in that division. I do think he'll be hard to beat for a lot of guys, but like, he's a pitter-pat decision guy, right? So that's why I got him at 7. 6, I got JDM. Obviously the pros, dude, he's a world-class striker. In his last fight with Bilal Muhammad, he showed vastly improved takedown defense, an ability to scramble back to his feet. He's got great cardio. He's hard to deal with on the feet. That being said, the cons with Jack Della Maddalena is he's just one-dimensional, dude. There's no offensive grappling game whatsoever. I don't think he's ever taken anybody down in the UFC. Like, he's decent on the ground getting back up. Maybe he might get a reversal here and there, but like, there's no offensive wrestling game. And on the feet in that Bilal Muhammad fight, bro, he was getting hit clean a bunch, right? And the thing about JDM, he's world class, but like, my worry for him is if he runs into like another world class striker that starts picking him apart on the feet, he's not going to have any wrestling to lean into, and he's going to be stuck on an island, right? He's going to be stuck on an island because there's just no takedown threat. There's no top game threat, right? None of that. So that's why I got him at number 6. I just haven't seen the well-roundedness from this guy outside of like good defensive grappling, good scrambling, and obviously the striking and cardio. Top 5. All right, breaking into the top 5, Alejandro Pantoja. Pros, dude, I mean, this guy has one of the most insane chins I've ever seen. He's been hit clean so many times with fucking killer shots. and he just keeps. He doesn't even get rocked. Like he's a zombie, dude. He just keeps moving forward, right? Obviously, he's a solid grappler. His submission skills are improving. He's kind of becoming a nightmare on the ground for these guys to deal with. Like he's physically strong, big for the weight class. Um, he's really good with his offensive striking when he's pushing forward, um, moving forward in the fight. But he does get hit a lot. He gets hit clean, flush, a lot of significant strikes every single fight he fights, right? And he slows down in the later rounds. He does. We saw that with Brandon Moreno, right? He typically slows in the later rounds. He's kind of like John Wei Lee. He's explosive. He's fast paced. He's going to put it on opponents early, slow down in the later rounds, probably lean into the grappling a little bit more, probably do a lot of holding. Lately, he's been finishing fights, but I mean, Kai Asakura and then Kai Kara France. But yeah, I mean, I get he has 4 defenses, but like, dude, like that chin can't hold it forever, man. Like that Tony I mean, he's not as bad as Tony. He doesn't take as much damage as Tony, but dude, it worries me for this guy in terms of longevity. How long can he keep taking these shots and taking people down, submitting them, out grappling them? How long can he keep up that game plan? Because he does get hit significantly almost every fight outside of like Kai Asakura. Kai Kara France didn't really do much. But I mean, dude, this guy's going to he has some tough fights on the horizon, right? You're looking at Joshua Van. That's going to be a tough fight. That guy hits hard. That guy's got world class boxing. If Manel Cap beats Brandon Royval in December, you're looking at that guy. That guy is an insane striker. Like, I don't know, man. That's why I have him ranked lower, as well as the cardio, right? It is a chink in the armor. The cardio, and just the fact that he always takes shitload of clean shots. Number 4, I got Alexander Volkanovski. Dude, I have to put him at 4. Look, 2 years ago, I would have put him higher on this list. Look, he's world class everywhere. He's great on the ground. He's great on the feet. He's hard to hit. His footwork is insane. Like, he's a master MMA fighter. He's an old master, right? Cons is he's starting to slow down, right? Watching that Diego Lopez fight, Volk is starting to slow down. He's still world class everywhere, hard to hit, but he is slowing down at what? He's 36 now, 35, 36. The chin isn't what it used to be, dude. He's been knocked out twice. Diego Lopez had him on skates in that fight, had him hurt. So that's why I have to drop him down a little bit more, man. It's just because the age and some of that wear and tear he's taken from the knockouts to Ilya, from Islam. Yeah, Volk at 4. All right, number 3, I got Khamzat Chimaev. I got Khamzat Chimaev right now. Look, man, he's probably the best wrestler in the UFC right now. He is. I know Drickus doesn't speak too well to that, but I mean, this dude out-wrestled Kamaru Usman. Nobody out-wrestles Kamaru Usman. He did it easily. He shot from a mile away and still managed to take Kamaru down multiple times. Super impressive. As we've seen in the Drickus fight, I know it was slower pace. This guy does have good cardio. He's always had decent cardio outside of that Gilbert Burns fight. I think everybody looks to the Gilbert Burns fight where he was just swinging hard and going to war with Gilbert all night. No wonder he got tired in that fight. I think everybody points to that fight as him having bad cardio. He does have good cardio, and he's probably the best wrestler in the UFC right now. The cons, I don't think he has the best striking, dude. He's very hittable on the feet, as we've seen in the Burns fight. Even Kamaru Usman was touching him up, right, in like rounds 2 and rounds 3. Dude, he just fights one-dimensional. Like, that's, like, he goes out there, he's going to try to fucking devour you with a takedown. You know it's coming in the first 30 seconds of the fight, right? So that makes him one-dimensional. Combined with the striking, that's why I dropped him to 3. But still, dude, like, I see this guy being a dominant champion. And I think he can get away right now with being one-dimensional. But, like, the criteria of this list is who is truly the best champion? Like, who is the most well-rounded everywhere, right? Who is, like, as close to the perfect fighter as you can get. That's what this list is all about. I do think he'll be a dominant champion, but I got him at 3. 2, I got Machine Marab. Look, dude, best cardio in the UFC. Endless fucking cardio. He's going to shoot 40 takedowns a fight on you. Right? He's going to put constant wrestling pressure on you. He is improving on the feet because people have to account for the fact that he's going to shoot 40 takedowns. It makes them gun shy on the feet. It makes them afraid to throw. He's constantly fucking moving forward like a Tasmanian devil, moving side to side, jumping around like a little toddler. and because of that, dude, like I think he's been able to get more comfortable over time on the feet. Because like the people are worried about that takedown, and it's like if the takedown doesn't work, I mean, dude, he probably has like a 30 to 40% takedown success rate because he shoots 40. So all he needs to get is like fucking 10 of those, 5 of those 40, and he's gonna beat you by decision, right? The cons, he does get hit pretty often, like Pantoja. I would say he doesn't get hit as clean as Pantoja. Um, he does strike a bit reckless, dude. He's like a Tasmanian devil on the feet, right? He is a little bit unorganized on the feet. He's moving around crazy. Umar touched him up a lot in that fight. Like if you watch that fight early, especially, Umar was touching him up quite often on the feet, outstriking him clearly. And like with Marab, I do worry that he's gonna run into that guy that has good power. And yeah, he's gonna like win rounds. He's gonna be banking rounds, and eventually that guy might catch him. So he doesn't have very many cons to his game, but like the feet and how kind of reckless he is on the feet and how much he gets hit. I mean, that's some of the concerns for Marab, but obviously, right? 2 title defenses so far, incredible, best cardio in the UFC. Yeah, man, he's just weapon. He's like a Colby Covington on steroids, basically. All right, last but not least, the best champion currently, in my opinion, in the UFC. It's got to be Ilia Topuria. It's got to be Ilia Topuria. Obviously, look, insane boxing, one punch power. Nobody's outstriking this guy, dude. Solid grappling and cardio, which is why the biggest reason I have him at number 1. If he was just a knockout guy and hadn't shown anything throughout his career, I would have dropped him down the list. Dude, go back and watch the Josh Emmett fight. That was 25 minutes long. He incorporated grappling in that game, in that fight. And he showed he's got great cardio, bro. Like, I don't remember how much he landed. He landed so many punches on Josh Emmett. He 50-43 Josh Emmett in that fight and took him down multiple times, right? He is not one-dimensional. He is as close to the perfect fighter right now in the UFC. He has insane confidence. It's hard to pick the cons out of this guy, especially looking back on that Josh Emmett performance. Now, I know he's knocked everybody out since, and typically his fights are a round or 2, maybe 3 in Max Holloway. But he does have that grappling, dude. I'm telling you, if he fights Sarukian, he will be competitive in the grappling. Mark this. He will be competitive in the grappling with Arman Sarukian. I don't think he's going to get super tired. I do think he will get more tired in the later rounds in a fight like that with a strong dude who has world-class grappling in Arman. But, I mean, honestly, that is kind of one of the cons. If I'm really nitpicking with Ilia Topuria, he has yet to face a super elite grappler. We saw what Bryce Mitchell did. He can be taken down, right? Can briefly be controlled. But, I mean, we haven't seen him against the elite of the elite grapplers to see how he does with being taken down. How can he scramble? Can he defend takedowns? Can he defend himself on the ground? Like, how would that go? And we just won't know until we see the Arman fight. If Arman ever, wants to earn his title shot back. But yeah, I got Ilia at number 1, man, right now. Islam, like, it's a tricky situation. He's not champion right now, so I couldn't include him in the list. But yeah, man, let me know what you think of my rankings for these champions. Drop your top 11 down in the comments, man. So yeah, that's all I got. Yeah, that's it. Bye.